welcome back. The epoxy on the weight seems to be setting nicely. I don't think anything got missed, so my next step will be to assemble the roof. And for that, I need some space. I need 3 of the letter J and 1 of letter F. And those are here. Okay. And then F has a little hole that I need to cut out. And that will go above the lawn plug. So there's my F. As to why there seem to be extra pieces, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just easier to make everything, I don't know, keep all the pieces balanced. Okay, everything is off of this sheet. I don't need that anymore. So put this back. So basically what I need to do is get 3 of these started. I'm going to sand those edges a little flatter first. Okay, so basically glue three pieces together, and then while the glue is still soft, get that on, and then, yeah, so if you can see that, they don't line up to an exact square, which is actually good in this case. There is, let's see if I can zoom in here. You can see there's a little bit of a gap right here. So those 2 edges don't meet as it's setting up here. And that's good actually, because when these 3 edges are glued, and then I bring this in to glue the final edge, that will give it the peak it needs, because the roof of this box has a slight peak to it. So I'll quit talking for now and let's get down to it. Okay, so the first 3 joints are glued. that dry for a little bit, just long enough to get, so I can fold it slightly and get the last joint glued. In the meantime, I will locate my T pieces, and I will need those for the next step. And just like with the pieces that make up the base, I'm just going to very carefully sand and angle into the corners. And it doesn't need much work at all. Oh shucks, I just did that, didn't I? Okay, be very careful because this wood is very, very fragile. So I hope I can salvage those two, or that one piece. I broke it into 3. Well, I hope this will work. This one seems to be an odd break, but I'm just going to use a little bit of the glue from my paper towel. So again, I hope this works. So I'll let that dry for a bit, check on this. Okay, it seems to be holding together. It seems to be holding to the paper a little more than I want, but it is. Hope it's flexible enough that I can actually get this. You missed all of that with the dowels, didn't you? I forgot to zoom out. I'm sorry. So I just filled the gap there with the glue, And I'm very carefully bending that down to fit. And then now it has a slight peak to it. I hope that'll hold. Well, I'm going to hold it for a little while to get it to set. Before I forget again, I will zoom that out. So basically what you missed, I have a tiny piece of wood here, and in the process of sanding, it broke. So I have it glued together. This is not wanting to hold together long enough for the glue to dry. But the longer I hold this, the better that will hold, so I hope it all works out. I may need to put a drop of super glue on there to actually get it to hold. If you do that, remember to be very, very careful, because super glue will bond your skin immediately. And I didn't think I would need it, so I did not get my acetone. So wish me luck. Alright, put a couple of dots of super glue on there. Kind of where the wood did not seem to catch any glue. That way the super glue could soak into the wood before it set. So still I'm just holding onto this until something catches. Okay, that seemed to have done it. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry all the way. I'm going to let that dry all the way. I've already done that. And I'm going to go ahead and dry those pieces so that they can set. This still wants to have a slight angle to it. I wonder if this will help. If I try taping the corners down to my waxed paper. So if the four corners can lay flat, then it should dry fairly square. This last corner I need to be careful because that was where I put the super glue. Well, I hope that helps. Okay. seems to be holding so far, but I want to be very, very careful with moving that. Okay, so I'm going to cut off this sheet of my paper and set everything over here. Actually, I'll set it back there. Okay. So next, as I'm moving on, I'll take my 2M portions, and they both have a hole cut in the middle. That's also for the launch lug. And the wood grain of the two pieces actually do run opposite directions. And again, that helps add some strength. Did those. Wondering why I turned it the other way. And why does it have more of the tabs go through the against the grain than with? I suppose they just took the shape for M and rotated the whole thing 90 degrees. Because as I'm looking at this one, it's the same, just opposite. So it's got 5 tabs that run with the grain and 2 tabs that run across. But not a big problem. Punch out the hole. Okay, so there's that. And again, since the holes are for the launch lugs, those will have to line up. Spread a layer of glue all over one. Try not to get any glue into the hole if possible. This ended up being a whole lot of glue. Yeah, there's way too much on there. One of the problems of too much glue is that, at least with wood glue, it is water-based. So I just put a whole lot of moisture into this wood, and moisture causes wood to warp. So one of the things it recommends to do anyway, and I would have done this even if it didn't recommend it, once these are pressed into place long enough to not wiggle side to side, is place it under a heavy weight, or if you have some sort of clamp that you can use, that would work too. Just making sure the launch lug hole is clear. Okay. So I'll set this over here. And right now what I have for a heavy weight is my little toolbox. Put that stuff back in it. It's big enough that it covers the whole square. Actually, I used it to do the bottom plate as well. I don't know if you noticed. So put that square on top and very gently put that there. So that'll help keep it flat so that it doesn't warp on that part. So in the meantime, it's just waiting for the glue to dry. So that ends this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you again.